Hello? I'm just testing the microphone. I'll be with you guys soon. Hello and welcome. I'm teacher Juliana Kawauchi from Let's Study Eikaiwa. And I am here with one more EIKEN, this time grade 2 practice, writing practice, and also I'm going to help you with your vocabulary build-up. But before we get started, I'd like to wish all of you guys a Happy New Year. I hope your holiday was good. And now we are returning to our normal lives, right? I hope you guys have a very good year. And let's get started. Hello JP Super Monkey. Happy New Year to you. How was your holiday? Oh, thank you. I was a little worried about that. Nice. That's really good. I'm glad you joined. Okay. And well, today we are going to have today we're going to study a little bit vocabulary. I'm going to work with you guys phrases. I'm sorry if I'm not looking straight into the camera because I'm looking into multiple monitors to check messages, to see the slides, and to control the slides as well. So I'm sorry if I'm not looking straight at you guys, okay? But as I was saying, today we're going to work a little bit vocabulary. I'm going to help you guys build up vocabulary, and we're going to work with phrases. And remember that a phrase is not a sentence, okay? It's like 2 or 3 words together. They have a specific meaning, but it's not a sentence because they often lack a subject or a verb. After we work with 6 phrases, if I recall it, if I remember correctly, we're going to work the 2 writing tasks for the EIKEN Grade 2 test. The first task is a summary. Just to remind you guys that a summary is, you guys have a passage. We're going to read the passage. Yes, just like your game setup, right? It's not easy. I get very confused, JP. I can't get used to working with so much technology. But as I was saying, the summary, we're going to have a short passage we're going to read, and we are supposed to rewrite that passage using a shorter version, keeping the main idea and the important details. And it's also very important to rephrase. This means change a couple of words. We're not supposed to copy exactly what we have just read. Okay, so that's the idea of summarizing something. Reduce it and rephrase it a little bit. After we do that, we have our second writing task, which is a prompt. You have a given situation, and you are supposed to state your opinion about that situation, whether if you agree with it or not. And at the end of our video, we're going to review the vocabulary that we studied at the beginning, just to keep it in mind, okay, so we don't forget it very easily. So, with no further ado, let's get started. The first phrase of the day is keep an eye. And what does it mean? It means to watch something or someone, to take care of something or someone. Can you keep an eye on my bag while I go to the restroom? So can you take care of it? Our next phrase is drop in. Oh, JP, thank you. I forgot to mention also, thank you for reminding me. In the description of this video, I not only left the translation of these phrases in English, from English to Portuguese and Japanese, and I hope the translations to Japanese are correct. Okay, please let me know if they do not match with the definitions that I am giving here, because I actually use the translators for the Japanese translations. And after that, at the end of the description, I left a link with the latest EIKEN Grade 2 book, because as you guys know, last year the test changed. So there are not many books with the 2 writing tasks, which is the summary and the prompt. So this book is updated. Okay, it's a new version. So if you guys are interested to study at home, I recommend click on the link. You can buy it on Amazon. Thanks, JP. Well, going back to our phrases, our phrase number 2 is drop in, which, as I said before, it's pretty similar to drop by. It's to pay somebody a short visit or to visit somewhere, okay? But what is the difference? I said they're pretty similar. Drop in, it gives the idea of a longer visit, while drop by is really a quick stop to see someone or something. You can drop in anytime if you want to chat. This means that you can visit me at any time. Our third phrase is to step up, which means to take action, okay? Or responsibility, especially when it's needed or when people expect you to do something. Seeing his best friend get bullied, Jake stepped up and defended him. So Jake took action, okay? He helped his friend out. Our next word, or actually our next phrase, is make do with, which means to manage or cope with something, even if the condition is not ideal, okay? Because you don't have a better option. So you have to go around it and find a solution. We didn't have enough chairs for everyone, so we had to make do with sitting on the floor. So we had to find a solution. Phrase number 5 is part with. We have a couple of meanings here. I'm gonna show you 2. The first meaning is to give something away or sell something, but when you really don't want to give it away or you don't want to sell it, that's part with. She parted with her childhood toys when she moved to a new house. So when I use this phrase, gives the idea that she was not very happy about giving them away or selling them, but she probably didn't have another choice. Our next meaning is when you want to separate from someone. It's like saying goodbye to this person, as in they parted with a hug after the long visit. Okay, so they said goodbye with a hug. And our final phrase is keep up with, which also has a couple of different meanings. I'm going to give you just some of them, not all of them. The first one gives the idea of to stay informed about something, to keep up to date. She reads the news every morning to keep up with the current events. So that's the idea, to stay informed. Number 2 is to move at the same speed or level as someone or something else. He walked so fast that I couldn't keep up with him. So I couldn't move at the same speed as he did. Number 3, it's to maintain progress, not to fall behind. So imagine a setting where you are with your classmates, you guys are having tests, your classmates are doing really well, and you want to do as well as they are doing, so you want to keep up with them. If you want to keep up with your classmates' scores, you need to study harder for the next tests. Okay, so you want to stay at the same level. Well, guys, these are our words. Okay, I hope they were really clear. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I know that phrases sometimes are very confusing, but it's important to study them because they are in the vocabulary section of your test, okay? Now, let's work a little bit the first writing task, which is summarizing. We have our passage here. We're going to read it together. Yes, lots of tricky phrases. This is the problem with phrases, phrasal verbs, idiomatic phrases, because sometimes they are not translated exactly as the way we see them, right? So they're very tricky, JP. That's why we have to study them very hard. But don't worry, it's natural to confuse them. I believe that even some Native Americans, they might not know all of them, of course, because there are many like high level phrases. Okay, so let's do our best to score as many vocabulary questions as we can, right? And as for our summary, let's read it together and let me know if you guys have any questions as for vocabulary. I'll be more than happy to help you guys, okay, to clarify any doubts. So many people today enjoy using social media to stay in touch with friends and family, share their experiences, and keep up with the latest news. Social media can help people connect with others from around the world and learn about different cultures and ideas. Thank you. Let me see here. Is it better? Well, just picking up from where I stopped. Oh, thank you about that. Let me, just a second. I'm gonna cut it off and let's see what happened here. I think now it's okay, right? Thank you, JP. Well, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Again, I'm sorry about those technical issues. As I said, computer skills are not my strength, so I'm working hard to improve this, and thank you so much. Well, starting again, okay, just to be clear, and here I'm gonna start from many people today enjoy using social media to stay in touch with friends and family, share their experiences, and keep up with the latest news. Social media can help people connect with others from around the world and learn about different cultures and ideas. It also provides a platform for people to express their thoughts, creativity, and opinions. However, social media has some negative sides. People can spend too much time on their phones or computers, which may lead to problems like lack of sleep or poor health. There is a risk of sharing too much personal information online, which could lead to privacy issues. Additionally, social media can sometimes create a false image of people's lives, making others feel unhappy or pressured. It is important for users to balance their time on social media and be careful about what they share with others. Well, this is the passage, and I don't know if you guys realized that over here, when I read, I said making others feel unhappy and pressure. There is a little typo. This too should not be here, so just ignore it. Again, the correct making others feel unhappy or pressured. And I'm going to correct it really quickly, okay? Every time I check it many times, but a typo always occurs. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? We are going to identify the main idea and the supporting details, the important information that we should include in our piece of writing, okay? Thank you. And let's go. I have highlighted the important information right here. The first thing we have to ask ourselves is, what is the text about? What is the writing about? And we can identify it, and it's about social media, right? How we can stay in touch with friends, family, how we can share our experiences. That's what the writing is about. It is also relevant to say that we can learn about different cultures and ideas. We can express our thoughts and creativity and opinions. I do not highlight opinions, but this is an important piece of information. You can include it. However, right? So remember that however is a transition word that indicates the contrary, the opposite. So although we mentioned good things, there are bad things, negative things, okay, negative sides. Spend too much time on phone, on the computer. This can lead to problems like lack of sleep and poor health. Also privacy issues, okay? And it can also create a false image of people's lives. And finally, it is important for users to balance their time on social media and be careful about what they share with others. So, as I read it, this is the information that I believe is very important. So we are going to extract that information, and as we write our summary, we are going to replace some words, use some synonyms, similar words with the same meaning, because remember, it's important here not to copy, because what is being evaluated here is, are you able to understand the reading? Do you have enough vocabulary to tell it in your own words? Of course, you don't have to change every single word, but at least a couple of words you have to change it, okay, so you can show that you know how to retell a story. That is my tip for you guys. So how can you improve your vocabulary? Get some of the words that we read here and try to find synonyms, similar words, and also see how I replace these words. Okay, and then try to memorize. You don't have to memorize a very long list, but if you try to memorize at least 1 or 2 words, okay, that have the same meaning, this is very helpful. Well, now let's get started. Let's see my summary. My summary, remember that you guys are supposed to write somewhere in between 45 to 55 words. So let's see what I wrote. Social media helps people connect, share experiences, and learn about different cultures. It allows creativity and expression, but has downsides. For example, overuse can lead to health problems and privacy risks. It can also create unrealistic expectations about other people's lives. Therefore, users should balance their time online and be cautious about sharing personal information. So let's take a look here how I rephrased some words, so how I replaced them. And you can see that many of the words I used the same, but as I said, I selected the important information, the real relevant information. So I started with the main idea, which is how social media is helpful, helps connect people. Here, on the original passage, it says, stay in touch. I use the word connect, which is the same, okay? And then share experiences, learn about different cultures. It allows creativity and expression, but has downsides. Downsides is another word for negative sides. I could also use, but has disadvantages. For example, overuse, spend too much time. This means that we are overusing something. So overuse can lead to health problems and privacy risks. On the passage it says privacy issues, so I just replaced issues, I used risks. On the passage, in the passage it says create false image of people's lives. So this false image, I use the word unrealistic. It can also create unrealistic expectation about other people's lives. And to show my conclusion, okay, I use therefore. Okay, therefore, users should balance. It says balance their time, should balance their time on social, online, and be cautious. The original passage says be careful, so I use the be cautious. So as you see, I replaced some words and I wrote there 54 words. Okay, so as you write, try not to go too long nor too short. Stay in between that average 45 to 55 that you guys are going to do just great. Well, let's move on a little bit. Now we are going to the second writing task, which is a prompt, which you have a situation and you are going to be asked whether you agree or disagree or your opinion about it. And right under your prompt on your test sheet, you have 3 topics that you can choose 2 from. You don't have to. You can come up with your own topics. What are these topics? These are actually the reasons that you are going to give in your writing, whether you agree or not. Okay, so remember that you can choose 2. And here, your passage should be somewhere in between 80 to 100 words. I chose the topics given. Okay, this is the prompt given in the last test, so the link is right here, and I'm also going to insert it into the description. I did not yet, but I will. Well, let's get started. Let's see our prompt. It says, in Japan, some people... I just realized now that you guys are not seeing, so I'm back. In Japan, some people say that famous tourist sites, such as castles and temples, should limit the number of visitors. Do you agree with this opinion? So remember that my tip here is don't start with yes or no. If you see the answer sheet for the test, sometimes it will start with yes or no. I personally recommend my students not to, because it's a piece of writing, so we can start with I agree, I disagree, I believe, I think, and we are going to repeat part of the question, and we are going to use some of those words into our passage, so the reader knows what do I agree with or what do I disagree with. Yes, JP, I agree with that. That is a big problem. Something that I see here, and I have been seeing, as many know, I have lived here in Japan for a little bit over 10 years. And unfortunately, because of many tourists that behave badly, some foreigners, they are prohibited of going in certain sites. So it's very sad because not every foreigner is disrespectful, but because of a few that are, everybody ends up paying the price, and this is something that makes me really, really sad. And one example is the geisha district, right, in Kyoto. I heard, I don't know if it's true, that there is a specific place there that foreigners cannot go in there anymore. And it's very sad because it's beautiful. It is full of history and culture, and I had the opportunity to go there, and I was really happy. And I feel very sad for those tourists that go and they cannot enter that part of the district. If it's a lie, if it's really not forbidden, like prohibited anymore, let me know, but that's what I've heard, okay? So, well, going back to our prompt, as I was mentioning, you would start not with yes I do or no I don't, simply I agree that some people, I agree that tourists, okay, I'm sorry, I was talking, I got a little lost. In Japan, some people say that famous tourist sites such as castles and temples should limit the number of visitors. So our answer here should be, I agree that that famous sites. Wow, I really got lost here. Let's go to my passage. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening, but okay. Come on. I'm going to get started right here and let's see what I'm gonna do. Here, I agree that the number of people should be limited. To begin with, it can help maintain cleanliness. Too many visitors often lead to littering and damage, making it harder to preserve these cultural treasures. By reducing crowds, staff can keep the areas cleaner and more enjoyable for everyone. Additionally, limiting visitors can support local economies by encouraging tourists to explore less popular areas, spreading economic benefits to smaller communities. For these reasons, I strongly believe that famous tourist sites should limit the number of visitors. Okay? Alright, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to really cut off the camera a little bit because I will be right in the middle of my answer. Okay, I'm gonna comment this. So you see how I started here. I agree that the number of people should be limited. Or if you do not agree, I disagree, or I don't think that the number of people should be limited. Very often we see first and second because we're supposed to give two reasons. You guys can start with first and second. I started with to begin with, just to be a little bit different from first and second. So to begin with introduces your first idea, additionally introduces your second idea. So it's up to you which one you want to use. And remember, you are going to choose from the topics given, or you are going to give your own two reasons, your own two topics. I chose cleanliness and local economies. And remember that as we mention what we chose, we are supposed to talk a little bit about it. It's very important, okay, to explain, to give additional information, because if you just mention cleanliness and local economies, you are not going to reach the number of words, okay, necessary, and you are not going to provide information for the reader. You are not going to explain your reasons properly. All right, that's why I mentioned that it can help maintain cleanliness, and then I gave some reasons. Too many visitors can often lead to littering. Remember that littering means to throw small pieces of trash, right, on the floor. But I'm gonna continue. Okay, we're connected successfully. Perfect. So as I was mentioning before, I said cleanliness, and then I gave additional information, right? Often leads to littering and damaging these cultural treasures. Okay, and then I mentioned that if we reduce it, it's better. Everybody is going to enjoy it. And then my second reason is about local economies, and I mentioned why. So give the reason. Why is it beneficial? Because it will encourage tourists, okay, to explore other areas. So it's gonna help generally, all right? And then to close, for my conclusion, I used for these reasons. You could use to conclude, okay? So for these reasons, you just repeat quickly what you mentioned before. I strongly believe that famous tourist sites should limit the number of visitors. That's it. We wrote 86 words long, okay? You have strong reasons, solid reasons. You are supporting your opinion, and this is what they want to see. Okay, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any idea, let me know. Let's move on. Now we have our final part, okay, our final section, which is the review. We're going to review a little bit vocabulary, so you guys are going to see me quickly, and then I'm just going to step out again so we can go through the sentences. And if you guys can see at the end of the page in pink, there you have the words you were supposed to use. So let's get to our vocabulary review. The first one: when the school principal became ill, Mr. Harris, to lead the entire school to ensure everything ran smoothly. So Mr. Harris took action. Which of our phrases give the idea of taking action. And again, if you guys did not see the beginning of this video, I explained these phrases at the very beginning, so you can go guys and watch the beginning and then after try to review it at the end, okay? Well, if you guys mentioned right here, right, to take action, which means to step up, right? So when the school principal became ill, Mr. Harris stepped up to lead the entire school and ensure everything ran smoothly. He took action. Number 2, can you on the kids while I take a shower? So it's give us the idea of take care. Can you take care of the kids while I take a shower? I realize that it's cutting a little bit. Let me see here. While you guys think, keep an eye, right? So, can you keep an eye on the kids while I take a shower? Remember that keep an eye gives the idea of take care of, watch something or someone. Number 3, I was reluctant to my old books, but I realized I had no more space for them. The idea of giving away, getting rid, or selling my old books. Part with. I was reluctant to part with my old books, but I realized I had no more space for them. Our next one. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked here. You should drop in on our neighbors tomorrow so to see how they are doing. So you should pay them a short visit. Remember that drop in means to pay somebody a short visit or stop quickly somewhere. Number 5, since we don't have enough chairs for everyone, we'll have to what we have. So we have to manage. Okay, we have to find a solution with what we have. And here, to find a solution, to manage or to cope with a situation is to make do with. Since we don't have enough chairs for everyone, we'll have to make do with what we have. We'll have to find a solution. Our next one, and our final one, it's hard to all the new technology, but I try to stay informed. So it's hard to stay up to date, right? And I could say that for me, it's very hard when it comes to computers, right? So, which is our verb or our phrase? Of course, keep up with, right? So it's hard to keep up with all the new technology, but I try to stay informed, and I really do. Well, guys, we have reached the end of this video. I'm sorry, I'm very clumsy when it comes to technology, so I made a couple of mistakes, okay? But I tried to correct myself as the mistakes just happened. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you are watching for the first time. I know I don't make videos very often, but I will try this year. I will try to do them more often. And of course, share with a friend that is preparing for the EIKEN test. I wish you guys the best of luck, and again, a happy 2025. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you, JP. I will see you.